Hi everyone, welcome to our podcast. I'm Kevin Masque, manager of Aleron.
Hello, good evening, Kevin. Or good day, or good morning, o kung ano man. My name is Boojie Santiago. I'm one of the singers of Aleron.
So Booj, you've been in Aleron for a long time. Pero I guess one of the things I wanted to ask is how did you even really get into performing, into singing? Aleron it's not a school choir. Diba?
Oh.
It's not an org you join in high school. It's not even a church choir.
Wala siyang affiliations.
Yes, oh. So how do you even get here?
How they get into performing, honestly, I really don't remember. Pero tama ka, I've been part of different performing groups since I was in grade school. So I started out with theater. Back in Ateneo grade school, I was part of the Ateneo Children's Theater. Grade 5, 6, 7 yan. Bago nun, nag-art club, parang junior Ateneans Artist Society, parang ganun. So, grade 4 yun. Grade 5, ACT. Grade 6, ACT. Grade 7, ACT. And then in high school, I wanted to do more theater. So, I tried out for the, parang ano ba, was it the resident theater group of Ateneo High School? And unfortunately, I didn't get accepted there. So, I tried out sa another performing group, which was the Ateneo High School Glee Club. And I got accepted. So, okay naman. Nagustuhan ko naman singing. And the people I was with nung time na yun is parang nag-enjoy naman ako being with them and performing and working with them. So, I stayed with the high school glee club from first year to fourth year. And then, after I graduated, when I got to college, bumalik ako sa theater. So, nagtanghalang Ateneo ako and then eventually, I took theater arts in UP. So, by default, I was already part of the UP. So, yun. At a certain point, yung mga kasama ko in Ateneo High School Glee Club, parang decided they wanted to sing more in an all-male group. So they formed Aleron as an unofficial alumni group of the Ateneo High School Glee Club. So it's an all-male ensemble conducted by Christopher Arceo, who was our conductor back in high school. So we had a few performances in a church in Varsity Hills. And then Chris had to leave. He had to study in the US. Nung umalis siya, tumigil na rin yung Aleron. And during that time, di naman namin alam na babalik yung Aleron. It was going to be restarted. So in late 2012, Chris came back. And then the guys came back together. Parang talked about wanting to sing again in an all-male group. So Aleron was reformed. And yun, bumalik yung Aleron. And in 2013, bumalik din ako sa Aleron. So yan. And ever since then, I've been with Aleron from then hanggang ngayon. And even for a long period of time, I served as its parang production manager. Yeah. Parang production and operations manager.
And you feel na you have a pretty lengthy background in theater. No? You feel that played a part in why you were in that role?
I think so. Na-enjoy ko rin aside from being in front of the audience as a performer. 'Di ba, performing for your audiences. Na-enjoy ko rin yung mga backstage stuff yung the planning for it, things you have to do to prepare for the performance, the mga logistics, yung mga properties if needed, planning reservations, and everything backstage. I enjoy it also. So yeah, I think even in theater when I studied theater in UP, I was a technical major. I didn't study for performance.
But surely you had performance experience.
Oh, then. Definitely. Even like I said, grade school pa lang di ba, performing na. Pero eventually talagang nag-lean toward backstage ako, yung mga technical theater and stuff. Oh.
Nung grade school ako, gusto ko rin actually sumali ng Ateneo's Children. Nakwento ko na ba ever sa'yo to? I wanted to join Ateneo's Children.
You wanted to join?
I wanted to.
Weren't you part of it?
No. So I was,
okay.
We were both Ateneo. We were both Ateneo grade school. Tapos naalala ko, nung grade, di ba, you start clubs kasi like grade 2. So nag-ano pa ako, nag-Taibo pa ako, mga 1 quarter. parang hindi ako pang fitness. And then,
bata mo pa, may Taibo club na nung
that's right. Oo. Tapos, then by the recommendation of one of the music teachers, parang sabi niya sa nanay ko during one conference. Parang, ay, kumakanta yung anak mo pag salin mong boys choir, taray, di ba? Parang okay, sige, whatever.
Nagja-jumpers ka ba doon? Di ba? Yung costume ng ano.
Maybe, maybe. So I joined the Ateneo Boys Choir when I can't remember, grade 3 or grade 4, one of those years. And then tuloy-tuloy na ako. And then, I don't really remember much of what we were doing in Ateneo Boys Choir. Like, I remember it being very formative. I'm sure marami akong natutunan doon. Pero like, when you're that young, parang, hindi mo naman talaga ma-register yung art na ginagawa ninyo, ano yung point na performances ninyo. Parang basta punta tayo dyan, kanta tayo dyan, suot mo is naka-yellow ka, gano'n, kanta tayo sa siyang. Puro ganun lang naman yun eh. And then I remember, nung mga grade 6 ako, parang medyo nauumay na ako, na parang, I want to do something else.
1 year na lang. Ito
1 year na lang. Yun nga. So sabi ko sa nanay ko, parang gusto kong try ng ibang performing org. I wanted to join Ateneo Children's Theater.
Baliktad
Sabi niya sa akin, wag. Kasi 1 year na lang, if tinuloy ko kasi grade 4 to 7, may loyalty award. Oo, may medal siya tuwing graduation. Kaya parang sabi ng nanay ko, sayang naman. Tuloy-tuloy ako, pero I would just look longingly at the people in children. Kasi parang nandun yung mga cool eh.
Anong production nung grade 7?
Although parang medyo okay lang na hindi ako sumama kasi they did High School Musical. So parang, parang okay lang pala. Parang mabuti na rin pala hindi ako sumama. Parang mag-enjoy na lang kayo dyan. You know, it was the cool club kasi yun yung parang, may mga performers from Miriam, from St. Bridget's ata, ganyan-ganyan.
At saka hindi ka papasok sa umaga.
Oo, dahil may mga matinee kayo eh. Oo, tapos parang ang dami mo laging audience kasi required yung mga estudyante na manood. Sa boys choir, parang sino nanonood sa amin? Hindi ko alam.
Pasko lang.
Minsan, yung magulang namin, ganyan. Or yung pagkakanta sa siyang.
Di ba may Manila Hotel kayo?
Hindi ko na siya naabutan. Ang naabutan ko back,
natigil pala yun.
Well,
ano ba? Nagsara ba yung Manila Hotel?
May Manila Hotel pa ba?
Pero tama, no?
I heard about it. Ang nakantahan ko was, I think I sang at 10 and then sa Sofitel. Ganon. Pero again, as a child, parang what does this mean to me? It doesn't really mean anything. At saka kakantahin mo lang naman dun is parang, jingle bells, jingle. Ganon. Parang unison lang naman. So parang,
dumating ba sa point, tagal mo grade 3 to grade 7, dumating ba sa point na parang nilulook forward mo yung Pasko dahil kakanta ka sa pen or sa
I guess, because it was the active time for the boys choir. Aleron now, we do like our seasonal concerts and like when you're in theater, you do your season productions, ganyan. It didn't feel that way. Hindi ko alam if by design or dahil mga bata kayo, hindi nyo talaga kaya. I don't know. Pero we didn't really have our season concerts when I was in boys choir then. Like I remember when I was in grade 3, grade 4, we recorded the album. So yun yung big thing. Si A Time to Fly. Tapos ako yung tumatalon sa gitna sa album cover. We did the album launch. So that was the big event when I was in grade 4. And then after that, parang I don't really remember us doing programs na talaga or performances. Parang minsan kakanta lang ng national anthem dito, kakanta ng
may mga major concert ba?
Yun ang hindi ko alam. Nung time ko parang wala. Parang
so major project lang na.
Not even parang parang kakanta kami sa Thanksgiving Mass. Alam mo yun, yung sa ending, yung graduation. Pero I don't remember in boys choir us really doing those major productions. So di ba, parang the reason I'm even asking any of these questions to you is because I wanted to see like, okay, we're in Aleron now, we're much older than when we were in Ateneo Children's Theater. Hindi ko na imamat, grabe naman. 50. We're much older and I guess I wanted to understand like how did these very early formative org activities shape how we are today. And I'm thinking like in Ateneo Boys Choir, I don't think it really contributed too much to how I view programming or how I view production. It was really a lot more of like musical training. Medyo lumakas yung Koday method ko doon ako natuto magpiano, may mga ganun. Ikaw ba?
Ako medyo same din na parang hindi I couldn't really pinpoint which particular skills or kung paano ako madadala into the present day. Pero siguro I'm guessing yung what do you call it ba, yung stage presence mo and yung just being able to perform in front of an audience. As simple as that, I think yun yung isa sa mga nadala ko throughout the years, all those years of standing in front of an audience. Ano ba yung tawag doon? Yung parang your presence of mind on stage. 'Di ba? Yung pag naglalakad ko, 'di ba? Pag naglalakad ka on stage, yung mga don't turn your back. Yung mga ganun.
Stage etiquette?
Stage common sense, di ba? Hindi ko alam. Pero yun, it's the sense. The sense of being on stage in front of a live audience, I think.
It's quite special, no? It's quite special to have that opportunity to to really perform in front of people. When you talk about high school, it's interesting, diba? You mentioned that you tried out for a theater org and you didn't get in. Kaya ako sumama ng Glee Club. Ako, I tried out, I don't know how many years later, for the same theater org. I did get in.
Oh, you're one of the few people in our group.
But, throughout my entire stay, I can count on 2 fingers. Charot, so dalawa lang talaga. I can count on 2 fingers the time I actually performed on that stage.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. When I got into, and the org is Dula ang Sibol. Hi, makakulap namin sila this 2026. A lot of the other people in my batch were mga alums ng ACT, Ateneo Children's Theatre. Sila yung mga actors, ganyan. I was really thoroughly from boys choir. So singing, playing piano, ganun talaga yung background ko. And medyo dun ako na-relegate for most of my...
Music.
Yeah. It was really music, which kind of makes it, parang hindi mo na kailangan itanong bakit ang next org ko after that was not theater anymore. It was, I was in college choir na uli. I was in Glee Club. Bumalik ako dun. Kasi parang yung high school experience ko was really mostly music din naman.
Oh, pero performing din naman yun eh.
Yeah, it was
diba
different.
With Sibol,
it's very different. It's very different from choral performance, to be fair. Like the type of music you do when you're in an orc pit. And di ba, in high school production ng orc pit mo naman is here's one piano, here's maybe a drummer, here's like 1 or 2 guitarists. Even if I wasn't on stage, madedevelop mo rin yung stage sense.
Yes.
Alam mo yun, na parang I'm not the one performing, pero I know na this is what needs to happen in this moment. Na I can't play this, I need to play this, or this is what the audience needs to hear. Ganito. Kahit paano meron ganun, kahit na hindi ako nagpa-perform on stage.
Yung sensitivity mo talaga, no? Parang nakaka-develop ka ng spider sense.
Yeah, and I imagine, di ba, you were in theater tech. So I don't know, does that mean like lighting? Or what does that mean?
Yung theater tech is anything from lighting to stage design, props design, sound, the design and the operating of the boards, ganyan. Costume, makeup. So, everything backstage is theater tech.
I asked kasi like, there are parts of theater tech that are live. There are parts that are not as live. Like, what do I mean by that? Like, you have costume na you do that before. And then, gagawin na, mangyayari na siya. Wala nang nangyayari during the show. Pero there are parts like lights, which is you're operating it during the show. Real time might be the better word for it. Na, you also get that sense of like, what needs to happen now.
Right. You always have to be on your toes din eh.
And kailangan masalo mo siya.
Kailangan very sensitive ka to what's happening.
And I feel that's one of the things, like yung sa boys choir, diba, it's really a lot of the musical training. That sixth sense you're almost talking about. I feel that's one of the things I really carried as into being a performer today, or not even just a performer, being a manager sa Aleron now. Na it's that sense na in this moment, ito yung kailangang mangyari.
Tsaka bawal ka mag-zone out, ganyan. Di ba?
Oo, na hindi pwedeng iaasa ko lang na nakikinig yung ibang tao, gano'n.
Hindi pwedeng mag-autopilot, di ba? In performances, there's a thing called autopilot. Bawal mong gawin yun, especially in a very collaborative art such as choral music, wherein hindi lang naman ikaw yung performance eh. Hindi lang naman ikaw yung gumagawa ng itong particular thing at a certain time eh. More often than not, parang meron kang makakasabay parati na doing the same thing as you are. So, you have to be very sensitive about it. You have to make sure na parang synchronized pa yung galaw ninyo, di ba?
Tama lang, sakto lang. There's also this other concept sa, I don't know if it's a theater unique concept, na I would really love to have more of in choir. It's the concept of save yourself. Alam mo yun, yung pag nagkakamali na, pag gumugulo na, walang ibang sasalba sa'yo.
Sarili mo lang.
Oh yeah, which makes sense in theater because diba, you're one person playing the role, and when you forget your line, you have to figure it out. Diba? Wala namang, hindi mo pwedeng line please. I don't know, do people do that ba in actual shows? Magla-line please ba sila? Not
in actual shows, but I guess meron parang you're right in a way na parang talaga you really have to save yourself. Pero the more intelligent performers naman will be able to, na-mention mo kanina, hindi mo alam kung kailan ka sasalo eh. Hindi mo alam kung kailan ka sasalo ng co-actor mo, co-singer, di ba? So yeah. So, yes and no. Save yourself. Parang sa mga nalulunod, you'd have to save, diba? Save yourself muna bago
and save them. Diba? Mamaya na yun.
Sarili mo muna. Bago mo i-save yung iba, di ba?
What I will say though is quite comforting about choral performance is the fact nga na kahit na meron kang, even if you do have that save yourself mentality, generally, di ba, unless you're singing one to a part, even if hindi mo kayang i-save yung sarili mo, there hopefully will be other people to save you. Parang natatawa ka ba?
Hopefully
hindi ka
talaga.
Ba agree?
Hindi, ako hopefully talaga. That would be ideal, most definitely. Pero syempre, it's not always the case, di ba?
What makes you say that?
Syempre parang save yourself nga di syempre the other people are thinking about themselves muna before they can be ready to catch other people. Parang ganun.
Sa tingin mo ba dapat ganun ang choral performance?
Hindi. Ideally nga, di ba dapat talaga very sensitive ka. Kapit-bisig Parang communal activity kasi siya talaga di ba?
Di ba? Choral performance kasi, it's a group sport. Diba? You live and die with your group.
Sport, sure.
You can't be a choir on your own. So, hindi naman pwedeng sabihin natin na save yourself lang ng save yourself.
Correct.
Is there a balance that you think can be struck between those two ideas? Because I think there's value in having more of that personal accountability.
There is, definitely. Parang having personal accountability is a way of being a team player.
Okay.
Kasi if you have that accountability, if you save yourself, so to speak, hindi mo na kailangan magpa-save sa ibang tao. It's less saving other people for the person beside you. So in that way, you're being a team player kasi nagiging less of a pabigat ka. That way, still, I think the saving yourself concept still has something to do with being a team player.
Part of me wonders how valuable it would be kaya to have more of that theater exposure for choristers. Parang ingraining that training as well into the singers themselves. Like, what do I mean by that? Like tayo nga, we're fortunate to be choristers who have theater backgrounds. But there are a lot of choristers na ang background nila are choristers talaga. Chorista from beginning to end or music major from beginning to end.
Ako personally kasi sa tingin ko, beneficial for me and I'm guessing you too. So, I guess it would benefit the others also. Having, maybe not necessarily that mindset, pero whatever skill they could get from other disciplines na ma-apply nila sa choral discipline naman.
And here we're not just talking about like, go watch a play. That's different. Yes. It's different to be exposed to the art form. What I'm thinking is parang go be part of a play. Go be part of a production. Parang, I know you're a chorister. I know you're a proud member of this and this chorale. Pero maybe, even once or twice in your life, maging stagehand ka. Once in your life, maging SM ka. Once in your life, maging nasa tech booth ka. I think that can be very powerful.
Ang galing, no? When you were starting about being parang as a chorister, be part of a production, my mind was going to be part of a production as a performer. Di ba? Parang meron na rin naman I have a few friends. Si Chris was, di ba, he joined a few plays before.
And he was in operas then.
Yeah, operas. Di ba?
As a performer.
And even as a performer, I'm sure he would experience na rin the backstage aspects of the production. Ang impression ko rin kasi sa choral industry, there's less of that backstage aspect compared to theater. Yung mga props, di ba? Wala naman. I mean, there's generally, kung meron man, very minimal need for props in choral performances. Very rare yung may nakikita akong mga set when it comes to choral production. Siguro ang common lang na backstage aspect ng choral performances would be the stage management. Pero even that, very minimal. Kasi the choir would stay on stage
for most of the
performance, di ba? So yeah, I think it would be beneficial whether part of the cast or part of the production team. It would be beneficial for a chorister to be part of a production in general.
Hard stance ako na be part of the production team.
Backstage.
Yeah, backstage talaga. Be a stagehand, be a stage manager. Why? Diba? I was talking about that stage sense, the being on your toes. I feel I got that from theater, not from choir. I'll give an example. There was one time na halimbawa we were doing our tech run. There was a single block that had to be placed somewhere. And then yung mga stagehands natin, walang gumagalaw. Yung choir natin walang gumagalaw. Yung director sinabi ng gagalaw. So, ako yung gumalaw, di ba? Parang hindi siya mangyayari on its own, na parang somebody has to do it. Na I think there needs to be more people that understand na these things will not just be done for you. Na parang the stage will not just set itself up. The curtain will not just open on its own. The light will not light itself.
Tama.
Na if you're not gonna do, if someone has to do it. If wala naka-assign, then figure it out or be the one to do it. And I feel like there's a lot of transfer knowledge from that na rin. Now, when you start accepting na, okay, if nobody else is gonna do it, I have to do it. Then you also have to realize later on, as a chorister, na parang, yung mga things na I'm responsible for as a chorister, ako lang din ang makakagawa.
And maybe you have to understand din what each moving part entails, no? In a production, 'di ba, there are different moving parts, 'di ba? Parang what each moving part does to a production.
Hindi pwedeng naka-blinders ka lang
hindi
as a
pwedeng
performer.
parang pupunta ka lang doon, learn your music and parang at the very least be aware of the people working around you who are also working for the production, 'di ba? To give a good show. Parang pare-pareho naman kayo ng goal, di ba?
And I feel like this is a topic that we can really expand on, of course, because you're talking about like what are all the other parts of the machinery that puts up choral show, theater show, opera, kahit ano naman eh. You have a bunch of different machineries that are really coming together. And I feel, hindi ko alam kung totoo. I feel,
we can feel.
like a lot of choristers really focus lang on, kasi tama naman, yun naman yung trabaho talaga nila, is to perform the music. Pero I feel like there's a lot of value that can be taken, that can be gained from being a bit more aware of everything else that's happening around you. Like, you don't need to be the one to do it. You don't need to be the one to do it, but at least know that it's happening, anong point niya, saan to papunta. Oo, ganun. Oo.
Yung awareness itself kasi it adds to the synergy and the smoothness of the flow, no? Kaya you don't have to do anything about it. You just have to know and be aware na parang
dapat nangyari na to.
Dapat nangyari yan, or dapat wala yan dyan, or dapat pumasok na yung kasama ko 2 measures ago, or parang something like that, di ba?
Anong advice ang mabibigay mo to help foster that awareness? Because I think awareness is a really good word for it. It's a gentle word for one. It's a very not undemanding word. Na parang you just have to be aware. You don't have to be the one to do it. You don't have to be the one to create the prop. You don't have to be the one to set up the stage. But you have to know that it's gonna happen. What advice would you give to choristers to develop that awareness? And maybe aside from, join a production. Kasi medyo mahirap din yun eh.
I was gonna say that. Pero yung joining a production, ako talaga it doesn't have to be sobrang grand na join a big play, join a big production. It can be as simple as helping out a friend from another choir, be part of their production team, be a stagehand for a friend doing their recital, di ba? Parang makikita mo rin yung mga happenings backstage when you do that eh. And at the same time, when you do that, there's really a tendency na you being backstage, you put yourself in the shoes of the performer at that time, di ba? And di ba, once you become a performer yourself, it's going to be the other way around. Since you've experienced being backstage while someone's performing on stage, there's going to be that awareness, I think, na at the very least na develop mo yung may mga tao sa likod, may mga tao doon sa taas, di ba? So yeah, I think it's a scaled down version of what you said earlier.
No, that's actually really great. And Aleron is always open to volunteers who would like to help us out as part of the stage management team, the FOH, charot. Pero I think that's really great because like the choral community is really that. It's really a community here in the Philippines. Lalo na like when you look at UP specifically, na yung sino ba yung mga kumakanta sa recital, sila lang din naman. Like this conducting student will do a recital on this night, but he's also part of the recital choir of this student. So why not extend that also to the non-performing aspect? Na maybe I'm a conductor doing a recital here, pero actually dito stage manager ako. Kahit papano. And to be fair, because most choral performances, most choral features naman are relatively simple. So hindi naman super involved to become a stage manager for those. It's really just, okay, pasok ka na, labas ka na, dito yung pasok mo. Ganyan.
And I think nasa nasa territory mo naman yun, yung ganung klaseng trabaho when you go work as part of the production team of another choral concert or, di ba? So yeah.
All right. I think that's enough. Charot. I think tama na. When we started this, I wanted to hear more about like our childhood experiences. Pero parang hindi yun yung nangyari.
Tama naman. Very interesting din yung mga insights mo about experiencing being backstage, diba? Being part of the production and how it affected you and me din. how it benefited us as choral performers rather.
Yeah. So that's great, and I really do encourage all performers, all musicians, all choristers, anybody really, to go and try to be part of the prod staff of any show. I think theater is the most obvious example here. And dun makikita mo talaga parang what it means to be aware.
Correct.
Kasi masisigawan ka, Charon. may mga galit sa'yo pag hindi gumalaw yung block. Ganun.
Okay. Yep.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you so much for listening. I hope you stay tuned.
Good night. Yeah.
Good night.